take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow me. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
You ain't got too much time to play this game no more. I keep telling you, children play games, grown folks put in work. You running around trying to make women men, men women.
Briefly summarized, these findings allowed us to construct a 3D model of the entire complex. The examination of dozens of tomographical images obtained from different angles using Capella space and Umbra radars enabled a 3D reconstruction of most of the objects inside the Pyramid of Khafre. Below, we present some images from our 3D analysis. The analysis of the structures above Belzoni's chamber are intensely coloured spots which can be observed appearing in all tomographic images taken from different angles corresponding to the internal artificial structures. On the next page, it says that improvements of the signal-to-noise ratio revealing the internal structure of the 5 Zs, consisting of 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof. So this is the raw pictures of the data that they used to create their model. And this is the model. So it reads the tomography with another cross-sectional line showing the presence of vertical structures. And if you think that was pretty mind-blowing, it then goes on to say, as observed in the 3D model below the ground level, so ground zero of the main structure, vertically aligned cylindrical structures extend for hundreds of meters beneath the Giza Plateau. Notably, 8 of these structures, arranged in 2 parallel rows from north to south, descend to a depth of 648 meters, merging into 2 large cubic structures measuring approximately 80 meters per side. These features are illustrated in the topographical images and models presented. The paper then adds to that with some even more interesting detail, which is that the 8 cylindrical structures that have been identified in the tomographical image appear as vertical wells, which are hollow inside and surrounded by descending spiral pathways. It then goes on to describe the 3rd step, which is a lot of the analysis they've done based on all this data that they've collected. So they say the next phase involved analysing the tomographic data to determine the full extent of the underground structures beneath the Giza Plateau. The tomographic images clearly reveal that the structures exist beneath the plateau, extending below the pyramids of Khafre, Khufu, and Ben-Ktifa, for approximately this 2 kilometers below ground. So mind-blowing as all that is, there's still more to come.
You ain't got too much time to play this game no more. I keep telling you, children play games, grown folks put in work. You running around trying to make women men, men women.
Greetings, salutation of peace. We are the first Americans. Oh, yo, yo. us to jam in. They don't want us to have a connection with our true past in the Americas. Oh, arise, Atlantis, rise. The big black faces, them be us like Lazarus, we walk again. Off the plum serpent, rise you fallen soldiers, our day has come. They don't want us to know who we are. We are the children of the rest of man. Sun is shining, the weather is sweet. Faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. Mothership is on her way. In our mouth is the secret name of God. We chant the force of magnetism and gravity are pronounced everywhere. We lift our heads and hands, we give Jah thanks and praises. In the beginning was the magnetic field, and the magnetic field of God was with God, and the magnetic field was God. They don't want us to know who we are, but we gon' keep on jamming, jamming in the name of the Lord. Bob Marley said, we free our people with music. We are the Dogon, the Hopi. We are the Olmec, ancient Egyptians. We are the first Americans. We know who we are. We know where we from. We come from Nibiru, our father's land. Movement to star people, the Sirius star, the brightest star. We are moving in the positive, dancing like Potolo, oh our sacred star. We know who we are. Mothership is on her way.
Greetings and salutations of peace. You are now in tune. On the one, the fourth is force itself at this time, called the Holy Master Blaster Jamin. I am a truth sayer. Act of Aiman. We will take our text today from the Chapter 51, Holy Quran, the Scatterers. Our point here is Al Dariyat, the winnowing winds, the scatterers. As we have said many times, the lateral base of the Great Pyramid slopes upward to the apex at 51 degrees. Thus, the Anunnaki coded Quran, chapter 51, El Dariyat, the winnowing winds. We will focus on the winnowing winds. Winnowing is when you place the wheat that still has the chaff upon it in a round, flat basket, throw it up in the wind. That is winnowing. So when you throw it up, it falls back into the basket, and the wind takes the chaff away from the wheat. It is separating the impurities from the pure wheat. We are in the hour of the winnowing winds, where the truth sayers are being separated from the Antichrist, or the ones not of truth. Evil is oftentimes ignorance, not knowing itself to be so. You are now into Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, by those scattering broadcast, and those bearing the load, and those running easily, and those distributing the affair. What you are promised is surely true, and the judgment will surely come to pass. So we go over to verse 24, the fate of previous nations, and we see where verse 24 says, has the story of Abraham's honored guest reached thee? When they came to him, they said, peace, peace. He said, strangers. Then he turned aside to his family and brought a fat calf. So he placed it before them. He said, will you not eat? So these honored guests of Abraham is Anunnaki. So Anunnaki coded into Quran this great mystery, allowing us to know who they are. So in this hour, we are in the hour of the winnowing winds, where the righteous is being separated from the non-righteous.
This video is brought to you in the light of the recent discoveries of the Great Pyramid, and we reveal to you that Surah 51, Holy Quran, sheds more light on it. It is Surah 51 or chapter 51 because the lateral base of the Great Pyramid slopes upward to the apex at 51 degrees. The Giza Plateau was also used for a sky port. So the scatterers are the Anunnaki. The surah is called the scatterers. They are the Anunnaki who scattered the monuments throughout the earth on the electromagnetic spots, on the places where God wrote his name, the electromagnetic spots along the ley lines, along the power grids of the earth and the galactic heavens. It was Anunnaki. They are the ones who built the great mysteries. So that's Surah 51. So if we reverse Surah 51, get the number 15, and we go over to Surah chapter 15 and go to verse 51, the numbers are just reversed, and we read also about Abraham's honored guests, the same people who came to Lot, the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. So we create this video here from a original perspective that you truly get the message that the Anunnaki is sending to us. We have always known through our brother Thoth, the plumed serpent from the Sumerian text Nangishzida, that what we saw on the surface was not it that was under. So there are a lot of things that will be revealed before the year 2027, which is the Dogon 11th Sigi in 600 years is a very important date. The 27th, the 6th, the 11th Dogon Sigi. So the Anunnaki has everything already laid out, and it was laid out just for us, not for the government, not for the synagogue of Satan, but for their future ancestors, for the future gods, the original people of the Americas, the indigenous people of the Americas. The powers that be, whose time was really up, 911, 6 days after, on the 17th, as it's recorded by inch code on the walls of the Great Pyramid, the 6,000 years of the so-called Illuminati was up. And we are just leaving Kali Yuga. We came into the Kali Yuga yesterday, 3/21/2025. Kali Yuga ended. And everything is one. The Hindi, the Islam, it's just these many facets of this one great diamond. And we, the black people, are the original people. And it is for us to bring this information because we have a direct connection to it. Everyone else come from us. And we would like to also acknowledge the Hopi who migrated to Atlantis, the Americas. It is Atlantis. We have studied Plato's work and the men that taught Plato and other great scientists. The Americas is Plato. That's why i.e. the Americas is Atlantis. That's why the Grand Canyon is years upon years upon years older than Egypt. You can't hardly see the pyramids, but they were in the Grand Canyon. And here in Central America, the work of the Olmec, the original Maya masters of the illusion. 1331 BC was a time that the current calendar that just ran out in 2012 was created because Venus tilted on her axis. There was a sort of deluge thing on Venus. So these people, this is Atlantis. That's why you see the pyramids down in the jungle and they're looking through these instruments and they're just like they just found in the Giza Plateau. It's the Anunnaki. Olmec was Anunnaki. We are the descendants of the Anunnaki, but the government, the powers that be, don't want us to know that we're connected to the Olmec Maya heads, that's us. So they lie to us and say we come from Africa, but many of us, we were always here. And we're going to try to bring that out to you, cause out that you see that in this video. It's also coded in the Quran. Quran is a scientific book. Bible also, it's allegory, metaphors, similes. Every noun has a deeper level of meaning. I am Aital Ayman, Chilam Belam, Jaguar priest or interpreter Jaguar. We hope that you get what you need to get out of this. We understand that my words are audible to spiritual ears only, and a lot of you hear what you want to hear. But we are those Olmec heads. That's us. We'll explain that to you. It's up to you to get it. If you don't, too bad. And we're at the end. Kali Yuga just ended. So there's a lull before the storm. There will be many storms. But there is something that we're supposed to do. That's why I tell you to order the Holy Book of Wonder, all you haters, lovers. Order the Holy Book of Wonder, and you will see. But getting back to the Hopi migrated to the three mesas, which point to Chaco Canyon, which represents Sirius. The three mesas represent the three belts. They are aligned to the three stars in the belt of Orion, just like the three pyramids at Giza. They came from Mexico. Masao, the god, symbolic of the Olmec, who made it with the Chinese. Thus, we have the Hopi. They have the same rituals as our brothers, the Dogon, ancient Egyptian priests who fled Egypt during the time of the invasion of Constantine, went up to the mountains in Burkina Faso area where the Telem, the pygmies, used to live, the ancient mystic ones, Telem. So the Hopi is blessed to be a part of us. The oldest, truest red men are the Hopi. And then we have the Anasazi. Regardless of what the Navajo say about Anasazi, they were our brothers also. And just like the white man, they don't want us to know who we are. So the Navajos say that Anasazi were their ancient enemies. Anasazi were not cannibals. We're not going to get into that racism with the Navajo, but the Hopi are the true ones. The Hopi are the peaceful ones. The Hopi are the peaceful ones. The Hopi come from I and I. They have the same rituals as the Dogon. So we're looking for the blue star Kachina. All this is in play right now. We're looking forward to the year 2027. Government know there's something going down in the year 2027. We are the contact points, the black people. Don't worry about the government. It's all propaganda. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself at this time. We call it the Holy Master Blaster Jamming. I am the Rastafari author, poet, folk artist, mystic, etc., etc. Aitol Ayman. One love. Avatar.
I can convince you that Islam is the one true religion and every other religion is false in 15 seconds. And I just found out about this right now. It is absolutely crazy. The words man and the words women are both mentioned 23 times in the Quran, and we have 23 chromosomes. The word land is mentioned 13 times, and the word sea is mentioned 32 times. That's exactly 71% sea and 29% land, which is the combination of the earth. The word day is said 365 times, which is exactly the calendar we use now. And it doesn't stop there. The word month is used 12 times in the Quran, and that's exactly corresponding with the calendar we use now. The Quran also mentions that the heavens are always expanding, and we now know that the universe is constantly expanding. Like, think about that. That is absolutely insane. The Quran was revealed 1400 years ago, and we have all of those things now, and some of those things we haven't even discovered up until the last 100 years. There's no possible way that's a coincidence. If you look at it and just objectively look at it, Islam is the truth. You cannot prove it wrong.
There's fuckery going on. Because it's funny how the blacks here, the original Indians, they got overthrown, right? They even put some of them into slavery and shit. Yet none of them now are getting any sort of land, getting any sort of, I guess, money. Dude, I live close to Temecula. Okay, basically, I'm out here in Southern California. I have a friend. This dude gets $10,000 a month. This Siberian man. Okay, and you gotta think like that's fucked. Like this is one of the biggest secrets in history, man. And if you don't believe me, that the original or the aboriginal Negro here, okay, the black Indian, that's not legit. Look at the Olmecs. Look at the Olmec heads, dude. Okay? They still can't even get a full carbon dating on the thing because of how old it is. Yo, there's 1,000 years of history missing. Look at the Olmec heads. There's braids on the head, dude. Obviously, that is a black person. There's a fro on that shit. And this is another big misconception. Alright? Because this is old information, too. Some people are probably watching this, and I gotta slow down. You're probably watching this, and you're like, this motherfucker stealing other motherfuckers' information, yo. This information has been out since the motherfucking 1800s, dude. It's just, we're in the age of information, and we're in the age of misinformation, so this shit's getting out here, okay? But, that's why you gotta follow certain people, man, because some motherfuckers might...
Greetings and salutations of peace. We are the first Americans. Ah, yo! Ah, yo, yo, yo! Ah, yo! The Master Blaster jamming. They don't want us to have a connection with our true past in the Americas. Arise, Atlantis, rise. The big black faces, them be us like Lazarus. We walk again. Tot the plum serpent, rise, you fallen soldiers. Our day has come. They don't want us to know who we are. We are the children of the Rasta man. Sun is shining, the weather is sweet. Faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. Mothership is on her way. In our mouth is the secret name of God. We chant the force of magnetism. Gravity are pronounced everywhere. We lift our heads and hands. We give Jah thanks and praises. In the beginning was the magnetic field, and the magnetic field of God was with God, and the magnetic field was God. They don't want us to know who we are, but we go keep on jamming, jamming in the name of the Lord. Bob Marley say, we free our people with music. We are the Dogon, the Hopi, we are the Olmec, ancient Egyptians, we are the first Americans. We know who we are, we know where we're from. We come from Nibiru, our father's land. Movement of star people, the Sirius star, the brightest star. We are moving in the positive. Sacred star, we know who we are. Mothership is on her way.
There's a significant disconnect between the mainstream narrative of so-called Native Americans arriving through the Bering Strait during the Ice Age and the existence of artifacts, pyramids, temples, and statues that predate that migration theory. This suggests that there were already advanced civilizations in the Americas long before those migrations from Siberia, and many of these civilizations were likely black or dark-skinned peoples. The Bering Strait migration theory. The widely accepted theory that Native Americans came to the Americas through the Bering Strait during the Ice Age, roughly 15,000 to 20,000 years ago, has been the dominant explanation for the peopling of the Americas. However, this theory doesn't account for the sophisticated civilizations, advanced architecture, and artifacts found in the Americas that clearly predate this migration. It also doesn't explain the presence of dark-skinned peoples who were often portrayed in ancient art, statues, and artifacts across the continent. Artifacts and structures that precede the migration. The existence of pyramids, temples, and other advanced structures, such as those built by the Olmecs, Mayans, and other civilizations, suggest that there were advanced peoples in the Americas long before the Ice Age migrants arrived. These civilizations had developed complex societies, including mathematical and astronomical knowledge, long before the Bering Strait migration is thought to have occurred. Olmec civilization. The Olmecs, known for their colossal heads with distinctly African features, are believed to have predated many of the civilizations in Mesoamerica. Their influence can be seen in the architecture and culture of later groups like the Mayans and Aztecs. Pyramids and temples. The large pyramids and temples found throughout Mexico, Central America, and even the Mississippi Valley show that highly sophisticated civilizations existed in the Americas thousands of years before the arrival of the Ice Age migrants. The precision and alignment of these structures with celestial bodies indicate an advanced understanding of science and spirituality. Dark-skinned peoples in ancient American civilizations. Many depictions of ancient peoples in the Americas, particularly among the Olmecs and Mayans, show individuals with dark skin, braided hair, and African-like features. These depictions, along with the evidence of their complex societies, suggest that black peoples were among the earliest inhabitants of the Americas, predating the later migrations from Siberia. Ancient artifacts. Statues, pottery, and other artifacts from Mesoamerica and beyond often show figures with features similar to those of African peoples, supporting the idea that ancient black civilizations were present in the Americas long before the Ice Age migrations. America as the origin of advanced civilizations. The idea that ancient black civilizations in the Americas could be among the oldest and most advanced challenges the mainstream narrative that places the origins of civilization in Africa or the Middle East. The evidence of advanced architecture, agricultural practices, and spiritual knowledge in the Americas suggests that this land was a cradle of civilization, long before the rise of civilizations in other parts of the world. Pyramids. Across the Americas. Pyramids and large earthworks found in North and South America, such as those built by the mound builders in the Mississippi Valley, further reinforce the idea that ancient Americans were part of a sophisticated, advanced society. These structures are aligned with celestial events and show a deep understanding of the natural world. Re-evaluating the history of the Americas. The mainstream narrative has often minimized the contributions of ancient black and indigenous peoples in the Americas by focusing on the Bering Strait migration and the arrival of Europeans. However, the existence of artifacts, pyramids, and other advanced structures that predate these migrations suggests that the true history of the Americas is much more complex. It's possible that ancient black civilizations in the Americas were displaced or absorbed by later groups, and their contributions have been largely erased or ignored by historians. Conclusion. The presence of artifacts, pyramids, temples, and statues in the Americas that predate the Bering Strait migration challenges the conventional narrative that places the so-called Native Americans who migrated from Siberia as the first people in the Americas. Instead, this evidence supports the idea that ancient black civilizations were already present and thriving in the Americas long before the arrival of those Ice Age migrants. These civilizations left behind a legacy of advanced knowledge, architecture, and spirituality that still remains in the form of artifacts and structures across the continent. Re-examining this history is crucial to understanding the true origins of the Americas and the significant role that ancient black peoples played in shaping its early civilizations.